Welcome to the Classroom Brew podcast. The teacher podcast is a little bit like drunk history. But wait, do you guys actually drink while you record episodes? Yeah, actually. Yeah. All right, welcome back to Classroom Brew. This is episode 79. If you haven't already, please make sure that you rate and review whatever app you're listening to. If it's iTunes, great. Apple Podcasts, awesome. Stitcher, whatever is your speed or whatever you like, just hit us up on the ratings so that we can jump up in those standings. If you want to reach out to be on the show, you can reach us classroombrew@gmail.com, or you can go at classroombrew on your favorite social media. So this week, notice it's a little bit different setup. I'm back at the table, but a little bit different view, and you notice we have a guest. So I'd like you guys all to meet Vanessa. Hey, Vanessa.
Hey, Ryan. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good. This is really cool.
I know. I've never done. So you actually introduced me to this whole Zoom thing. So for those of you that haven't followed Vanessa on Instagram, I follow her. So it's very easy. I'll link her stuff in the description and all that. But Vanessa, how did you get started using Zoom? And maybe you can talk a little bit about your podcast as well.
So I am a teacher. I teach high school in New England in a small marine science high school. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing also a podcast for I started late August. I started the week before school started, because I was like, I have to do it now or never.
of 2018 then?
Yes, of 2018.
Okay, nice. That's almost a year. I think I started September 1st or something like that of 2017. So that's pretty cool.
Yes. And so I started late August, and then, I started with a podcast. It was called Vanessa's View, because I wanted to show my view as an immigrant, as a minority teacher, as a Spanish teacher in a small school in New England. And then I changed it. I rebranded because I don't know. It sounded like Vanessa's View. It was like, oh, look at me.
Oh, so your podcast it wasn't. Oh, okay, gotcha. So it was Vanessa's View.
Yeah, so it was Vanessa's View, and I rebranded because I don't wanted it to be all about me, because I started interviewing people. So so now it's called Empower Teaching Podcast.
Gotcha.
And it's been awesome. And I guess to answer your question, how long have I been using Zoom for? It has to be probably since November or December, I want to say. And it's been amazing. I recommend it for all podcasters out there. It's amazing. You get the video, the audio. They have the best customer service. Look at us,
I'm all about whatever's easiest too. I'm so lazy.
You're welcome Zoom for such a big.
Yeah, we're not even sponsored by them, and we got this nice little endorsement.
But that's how long. And I'm excited. I wanted you to try it, because I'm like, oh my gosh, your podcast is so cool. You'll be able to reach more people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best thing that my buddy Brian and I have kind of noticed, is that we get to meet people that we probably wouldn't have otherwise without a podcast. So
yes, absolutely. Having a platform is, it's really cool, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes. But then it's you get to make connections with people who are individuals like you. So I really, really like it. It's the relationships that you create. It's like us having a conversation right now, you in Chicago, me in New England, and otherwise we wouldn't be having a conversation, having a good drink too. Cheers. Yeah.
And I almost forgot this most important part. What are you drinking right now? I've got a Corona.
So I call this my grape juice.
Now, what is your grape juice actually?
Tonight is Chardonnay.
Okay, Chardonnay. That sounds good. That's a good. And anytime it's a Friday and there's an episode to be recorded for Classroom Brew, it's always good to bust out whatever your drink is.
Well, I had to. I don't think I have ever recorded an episode drinking grape juice. I don't think.
It's a lot different, I gotta tell you.
But it's really cool. I'm very, very glad.
We might open up a new side of your podcast pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I did my flu episode not too long ago when I was still getting over that, and I was like, this is probably one of two episodes where I didn't even have a single drop of beer or something. It was a whole different story.
I'm curious as to, so does the people at your school know that you have a podcast that is called Classroom? Do they know?
Yeah, it's such a weird line, because it's like, I'm very proud of what the show is, but it's also like, I want to protect my students' anonymity. And then also it's like, there's a little bit of, you're kind of putting yourself out there, right?
Oh, absolutely. But do they know?
Yeah. So there's about a couple that do know. So
couple,
a few of them that
like faculty or students?
There's a few faculty, and then there are a few students that recently kind of discovered it, which is cool. So I guess they probably won't. They probably like got bored after like 5-10 minutes because some of the episodes are a little bit longer. So thank you ADHD for that. But no, there are some that do know about it. One of them is in my AP class, and he was like, "Oh, I'll have to listen to it when I'm doing my AP reading." And I was like, "You're not going to do the reading anyways. Don't lie to me." But I haven't heard anything about it since then. So
I am proud to say that, you know, I mean, or at least I not that I know, but I've been doing a really good job at, I don't know, not telling anyone, like nobody knows.
Oh, not a single person?
Well, because I don't know, like you say, like I do want to, you know, protect their privacy. And although I have never, ever, you know, say what I work, the name of the school, but I don't know. I don't know if they find out, I'll be like, yes, like, I'm very proud of the show. Like you say, I'm very proud of Empower Teaching. I'm very proud. I'll be proud that they listen to it. But it's like, how do I bring it? I just walked in and, hey, you guys, oh, by the way, I have a podcast.
You can almost be like, hey, don't talk shit to me because it's going to show up on the podcast. You don't want the whole internet knowing.
Oh my God.
That could be your new strategy right there.
No kidding. Like, I love it, you know, because now you get inspired and you go, okay, I'm going to talk about this.
Yeah. Oh, I have such a different lens going throughout my week.
Oh, absolutely. Like now you appreciate like this week was so hard. This week felt like 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. I am no one that complains. I am no one that goes, oh, I hate no, but this week was really hard. It felt like 2 weeks. Like I said on Thursday, I'm like, it feels like 2 weeks already. It was such a hard week that, oh my gosh.
Sure. Well, let's dive into that. So a little bit about your school. You don't want to say the name, obviously, because we just got done talking about anonymity at kind of weird level. But a little bit about your school and like where you teach and what was going on this week. Because I agree, I had a really long week and it felt
my
like
gosh.
months.
So I teach Spanish. My school is all about the marine science life. So my kids learn how to drive boats. A lot of them are interested in everything that has to do with like the sea life or the science life, and a lot of them could care less about fish.
Okay.
They actually call us I was gonna say what I work. Oops, no.
It's really hard. I always do that.
I see it's really hard. No, I won't go there. And so it's my department is really small. It's a really small school. I became a teacher about 4 years ago officially, and then before teaching high school, I taught preschool, and before that, waited tables and worked as a busser, and before that, I came as an au pair here. I'm like going backwards.
Yeah, you're everywhere. That's great, though.
I came as an au pair here. So I initially came to the States about 11 years ago. I was an au pair, and I came because I wanted to learn English. I didn't know English. And then I came here and I was like, wow, I fall in love with the culture, with the country. I love it. The people, the accents, the languages.
So yeah, now you have the full on English British accent. Like that has to be such a difference.
But I couldn't speak a word of English 11 years ago. So it was really hard.
Yeah, that's so impressive though, because like for me, I wouldn't have even noticed. Like your English is excellent, so that's awesome. But
that's because you're very kind.
No, for real though, it truly is though. You mentioned the thing about marine life, by the way. This is like a perfect. I almost forgot about this. I don't know how, but we got an email like yesterday in the morning from one of our science teachers saying like, hey, we lost a crayfish. So if you see like a little crustacean, walking around the school, could you return him? Because he escaped. So there's just a crayfish going around. And so we were like, it's this blue crayfish. I'll have to like post the picture in the video or something like that. But we were like, all right, like I don't know if I'm going to want to step on it or save it or whatever, or like let's get this crayfish safe. Yeah. Well, we made little wanted posters like, have you seen this guy? Like, please alert staff. He responds to the term big boy or the nickname big boy. Like we're approximately 6 inches in length. Like we're trying to figure out like how to save this crayfish. But yeah. So how has that been though? Being in a third part of the world now, teaching an additional language.
Well, it was really hard, like the first few years, especially not knowing how to speak the language because I'm a talker. Like,
Okay, sure.
that's how I communicate.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do radio back in Colombia, like over 12 years ago. That was like my profession. That's what I used to do.
Okay.
I went to journalism school, and then radio was like my favorite thing. I ended up doing that. And then one day I'm like, no, I want to go and learn English. And then imagine a person who was I used to make a living by talking. So I came here.
Sure.
And oh my gosh, I couldn't understand anything. Like, and I was in shock. Like, it was my first time out of like a small hometown. I come from a city, but still it was totally completely different by myself. So it was hard, but I don't know. Well, like my goal was to learn English. Sure. I feel like, and then in the way, you know, I want to stay, I want to do more things. And I think that Hannah Montana helped a lot because that's how I learned English.
Say Hannah Montana. Of all the pop culture things, that's the first exposure. Oh God.
Well, I was a nanny, so my kids used to watch Hannah Montana.
What's available, yeah.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like the show is meant for kids and it's silly, and their language was a little like simple, like more like a little stupid, I should say, you know. But from watching it so much, not that my kids watch that all the time, but when mom and dad came home, like I was off, and the kids would go watch TV because mom and dad were home, and I would still hang out with them because I didn't know anyone. So I will watch Hannah Montana and The Sweet Lives with Zack and Cody. I think it was.
I've never seen any of them, but I know all these shows that I'm sure they paint the United States in a great light.
They will watch the Disney Channel. So I don't know. I think I found myself. I was one day like laughing hysterically, and then mom came and asked me, "Wait, what are you laughing at?" And I'm like, "Oh, because Hannah did this, and her best friend said this and that." And she's like, "Oh my God, you're understanding." And I'm like, "Wow." She's like, "You're understanding English." And I'm like, "Oh, am I?" She's like, "Yeah, go back to watch the show."
Keep working.
It's working. She was like, "Oh my God, this is working. You're really learning."
That's incredible though. Like so last year I had these two students that they didn't speak a word of English, and they're both from Mexico, incredibly intelligent, and they didn't have an ESL teacher to help them, work through learning the English language. And so they just are completely immersed in an all English school, a different culture. And now fast forward 1 year. So like they were moved out of my class into, I'm not sure where their schedule was changed, but now I have them again. And now I can converse with them. They're writing like 3 to 4 paragraphs. Like in 1 year, I'm convinced they're geniuses because in 1 year, I don't know how they taught themselves, but they are so resourceful and just incredible, like how they were able to do that.
I don't know how to explain that, but I saw that in me too. Like it took me longer. To me, the younger you are, the better it is.
Right. Brain plasticity.
How old are your students?
They were sophomores. Now they're juniors.
Like what, 17?
16, 17, yeah, around that range, yeah.
See, I was on my 20s, so it took me a couple years. But then when you are like 100%, exposed in the culture, you are getting the English everywhere. You read it, you see it, you hear it, right? So
it's almost like
that's my husband.
Tell him, hey. It's almost like sink or swim though, which is unfortunate.
Yes. So the more that you get exposed, and then you start learning it. Like I saw that on me, but it took me a good couple years to like start
even
learning
still,
the language. Yeah,
that's incredible, especially because English is so messed up. It's such a hard language. But it was so hard. Like the thing about like English, like the way we speak it here in America, I feel like we tend to be lazy. So it's hard for someone like me. I'm like, can you please pronounce all your words, in a sentence, like see you later. I remember that a few years ago, like, I don't know, 5 maybe, people started saying, later, man, later. And that means see you later. Right. But if you don't know that.
Yeah, but I will hear people say later. And I'm like, later? Do you mean see you later? Like, can we...
Like now they're just being an asshole, changing things up.
And then I started and then you start here like the young people, like teenagers say, late man, late. And I'm like, really? How did you reduce see you later? You know, such a whole sentence into one syllable, like late.
I had a kid today that I was talking with him, and he was, and I guess I had like a flat affect, and he's like, wow, the only thing moving on your face right now is your mouth. And I was like, am I dead inside? What's happening? Is this an insult? I don't know. Like, should I have like a different expression? But so I guess back to the week that you're having now that we know a little bit about your school, but what's been going on?
So I guess kids crying and trying to blame their not good enough grade on the teacher, you know, like it's your fault, it's not my fault. This week also, like the social media wall came down, and Instagram wasn't working, Facebook wasn't working right, and for a few good 2 hours I thought I was locked out of my Instagram account, of Facebook. I don't use Facebook that much, but still I use it for my family, and my Gmail wasn't working. I think I freaked out for like good 2 hours, and then I talked to my best friend. He was like, "It's everywhere, Vanessa." Like,
like you thought it was just your account.
Media. I thought it was just me, and he's like, "Vanessa, it's everywhere. Like, it's not just you. Okay, it will be okay tomorrow." Sure. And I was like, "Oh, all right." So I relaxed, and then I reflect, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I freaked out? Like for a good 15, 20 minutes, I was like, oh my, I don't care. So, I don't care. I was like, what will I lose if I cannot ever, you know, go back to my account? I'm like, there are a few people who are really, not a few, a lot of people who I care about. And I will have to go search them by name. Some of them I do kind of know what their account sounds like, but I not exactly. And I was like, oh. And I don't know, and I felt bad because why do you have to feel guilty or bad, or if you cannot? I'm like, oh my God, this is bad to feel that way. I was like this. I don't know. I thought it was personally. I didn't like the fact that I was that disappointed with not being able to check my Instagram feed. I'm like, this is baloney because it's just an app. It's not real life.
Right. I was gonna say, we're addicted to our phones too. Like even if it's non, like our kids are on it and we're like, no, put it away at our school.
I feel embarrassed, but it is true. We're so addictive. Like you get up in the morning, you check it, and why? I started, I really like it because like I reflected a lot and asking, why am I in it for a while? Like, you know, when you like really reflect on like your social media, I don't know, the way you act in it. I was like, wow, no, I don't ever want to feel this way. Like, I was like, you know, how cool will it be if Instagram and the whole social media world went down for a whole week? In the whole world. Insane.
Everything would explode, but it would be fantastic.
I thought about that. I'm like, imagine if social media was down. WhatsApp was also down, and I use WhatsApp a lot to communicate with my mom in Colombia and my whole family.
Sure.
So I was like, I cannot say anything to my mom. I could text her, but the voice. Sure. We use voicemails. Down there is more like voicemail. People send voicemails back and forth. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't do that. I could text, but I don't want to text. It takes longer. Right. So, but I'm like, it would be so cool. I'm like, well, I hope it stays down forever. Like,
I didn't even notice because like I have a buddy now that he's helping produce the show and like taking care of social media. So like I think I might have checked it and I was like, oh, it's not working. Whatever. I'm sure Brian has it handled. I find out it was a huge phenomenon.
See, well, wow. I look up to you. That's amazing.
That's not like that took a while, like to kind of like release the reins and stuff like that. But
no, at one point I was like, screw it. I don't care. Fine. I'm like, fine. I'll enjoy my night away.
And then it's back and you're like, oh my God, thank God.
No, I didn't check it the whole night. I was so upset at myself. I was just upset at myself.
Oh, you were able to kind of separate then after that.
Yes. I was like upset. I'm like I sort of like put myself on timeout. I'm like, you're not doing, and I love it because that was such a big like checkup. Like yesterday, I haven't, like just 10 minutes. I don't care if I don't post today. I don't care if I don't post tomorrow. I don't care. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if I lose engagement. I don't care. But I'm like, I don't know, it made me dream. I'm like, I wish, social media could be down for a whole week, for 10 days.
That'd be so great. I feel like a lot of our problems in the world would go away.
and then I started to see these memes. There was this meme that was, it was like a mom and a daughter. like hugging each other, like with tears in their eyes. And the meme says something like, mom and daughter reunite for the very first time in their own house after social media went down yesterday.
I think I saw. I didn't read it, but I think it's true. That's amazing, though.
Mom and daughter. The picture was like mom and daughter like hugging, like 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 oh my gosh.
That's amazing. The internet's undefeated with memes like that. That's incredible.
I know. Oh, I looked at that and I burst like into laugh like I haven't in a long time. I'm like, yes, that's what it was. Like, oh my gosh. We would pay attention more to those things. To like, I was like, oh, this is so nice to not be able to have to like, oh, I gotta check my phone. No, let's just be honest. Set at the plans at the wall, like.
We're also like the first generation where like we have like this forward head tilt that's like part of our spines now because we're constantly looking, but that's a whole thing.
Now think about our kids. I'm like, they were, it's worse. Oh, yeah. It's worse for them because they were born with that. Like they do not know life without it. They do not know life without the iPhone.
Yeah.
I do know life without the iPhone. I went we experienced high school without the iPhone. Mm-hmm. Like I experienced high school without the iPhone. So I
didn't have a phone at all until the end of high school for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Until the end of, like I went to college and there wasn't like, I had a flip phone and that was like the newest thing in town.
Right.
I felt so proud of my flip phone. Oh my gosh. It was so nice.
Yeah.
And it's so different than and it was beautiful. Like if I think about it, like all the things that I used to actually have human connection with your peers.
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly, yeah.
Like
and nowadays you have to
they are in the cafeteria sitting in a circle and every single one of them has their phone out. Mm-hmm. And they are talking while their phone is out. I'm like, you're not really connecting with each other. Like you're not really here. Like you're here, but something else is more important, like the Kardashians or something,
It's way more interesting to them than school. So, and you mentioned the thing about students that are kind of blaming teachers for their failures too. And it's funny because like that's exactly what I ran into this past like week or so. It made it such a long week for me. Yesterday in particular, you kind of reminded me of this. There was a student that wasn't doing the work and just kind of had it. And I was like, hey, we're really trying to get this done by the end of the day. I understand you might be having a bad day. Like, I'm not sure what's going on. It's not a student that shows up a lot. I haven't really had a chance to connect with them and stuff like that. There's kind of like a wall up there. And it got to a point where she was like, I was like, all right, I'm going to back off. She's clearly like pissed off at me now, but she was like, do you want the work or not? Like, I'll get it to you by the end of the week.
Yeah.
And like, it was like a 1-day assignment. But then I thought about that question and I was like, do you want the work or not? And I it's not really.
It's the attitude, right? Because she went like, oh, do you want it? Like, like
right.
It's the attitude.
It's not for me.
Words, it's just the way that you say it. Like,
right.
Like as if you were doing her a favor.
Right.
As if
she's doing me a favor.
A favor. Yeah.
I was thinking of it like, this isn't for me, girl. Like, this is all for you. Like, and also, if you're honestly asking me as like a human being that like, I want to like have my own free time. No, I don't want something that I'm going to fall behind on grading. Yeah. Like that's my selfish element of it. But that kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah. This week also a student walks in, they had a quiz. The quiz has been planned over 3 weeks. As a quiz, it's been posted, they knew it. She walks in, she's like, I'm so not ready for this quiz. I'm so not ready. You cannot make me take this right now. I wasn't here last class because I was out. I'm like, I know you were out last class, but there is a quiz today. I cannot take this quiz. Why are you making me do this? I am going to fail. And so she said that, and I just look at it. She's like, and everybody stopped and everybody looked around. They were like, oh my God. Because I have the word fail is not allowed in my classroom. They can't. I only have three rules, simple rules. 1, be safe, be kind. And 3, do not ever say the word fail. Like you cannot say or imply the word. Because I tell them, like, if you want to come in with that attitude of, I'm going to fail and set up yourself for failure, even before you even try, I don't care, that's cool that you want to do that. But when you say that, then the one who's standing next to you, he goes, oh, me too, I'm going to fail too. And then the one behind you said, oh, me 3, we're going to fail. Okay, good.
Right. Well, and they haven't figured out how to fail forward, to use failure as a way to like make it a productive, like improve or get better or stronger from it, I guess.
Yeah, and
So-
when they see that there's 2 or 3 of them, they go, like, oh, let's jump in the, I tell them, then you will go, let's jump in the failure's boat. In my school, it's all about, fish and stuff like that. So I try to be
Sure.
go
Relate it.
with
Use
it.
as many metaphors as you
So
can
I'm like,
relate to fish.
you're gonna come in here and like intoxicate all my people and say that, so they can't say that. And this student came into the classroom and said that. She was like, I'm gonna fail and yell it out loud. And it really like, broke my, like, how dare you say that? Like, you are not allowed. And I'm like, listen, if I let you not to take the quiz, there are, what am I going to teach your peers? Like, if I let you not to take, you came in and first of all, you want something from me and you don't ask, when you want something from someone, you don't go and yell at them and say, I need this from you, right?
Right.
Like, I need this from you. Like,
Yeah.
or you have to, no, you walked in. Hi, how you doing? Excuse me, may I? I'm like, you, no. 1, check your attitude. No.
Right.
Check the way you talk to your elders. Like, that's not how you talk to a teacher like, no.
We get that too with substitutes. So I have some kids that at the beginning of the year, they would try that attitude and like, I'm not going to play around with that crap. But then if I'm gone for a day and our subs are severely abused by students at times, they're right back to the same behaviors from the beginning of the year, as if it's like, oh, this person doesn't matter because they're not my actual teacher. And it's beyond frustrating. I also thought like, I should have like, here's what I should have done. Like when she was like, well, do you want the work or not? I should be like, oh, like, I can't wait for it. Like, give me the work. I can't wait. I should have done that just to kind of see her reaction to it.
You're going to give me the work. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you for doing your job so I can do mine. It's annoying. So.
No, it's hard. It's hard because you not only wanted to learn like the goals and great. You're going to learn the curriculum fine and, walk out of my class with an A with a B. No, but you want them to be better, a little better, right? When they walk out of a little bit of humans, like kinder, more respectful, like
even if it's a half a step, I'll take it.
Yeah, even if it's a half, even if it's a quarter, even if it's a 0.2 more polite, 0.2 because of senior, class. I'm now 0.2 more kind.
Right, exactly. I'm with you.
0.2 kinder, like 0.2 more respectful, 0.2 more, I don't know, driven or disciplined or motivated.
Something.
I
anything.
take him in 0.1.
Right.
I'll take it. 0.5.
And this is why at the end of the week we have our grape juice or
grape juice.
or podcasts like Classroom Brew.
Wait, can I go real quick and get a refill? Is that okay?
Vanessa, where can they check out your show? Because like now you've been on Classroom Brew, but the hope is that people can kind of check out more teacher podcasts, especially since you have such a vast experience and you have a different perspective and stuff like that. So where can they check out your show?
So Ryan, like I said I don't do a lot of social media. I know it's bad. I know you should be in all of the platforms, and I know all of that. But I know. It's my choice. I'm just in Instagram, and it's funny because in one of my promos I say, find us on social media, and I have to change that. I'm like, it should be find us on Instagram because that's what I'm usually at. So on Instagram is at Empower Teaching Podcast, and and then on like the Apples in the iTunes Store or Spotify or Stitcher Radio, everywhere else, we are at the Empower Teaching Podcast.
Okay, awesome. So you heard it here first. This is we've gone international for this episode. It's the first time doing a remote recording with video. So Vanessa, thank you so much for being on this week. This was fun. We'll have to do this again for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. What an honor. This was really good.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. Definitely have to do it sometime soon.
I'm so honored that I was the first person that you recorded by Zoom.
You are pioneering the Zoom family for them single-handedly without a sponsorship. All right, so everybody else, thank you guys for checking out this week's episode. If you haven't already, rate and review whatever app you're listening to. You can reach out to us by email, classroombrew@gmail.com, or of course on social media at Classroom Brew. Again, Vanessa, thank you so much. So until next week, Vanessa, would you like to do the honors?
Class dismissed.